Hello and welcome to the Hot Now Here Spurs Fans podcast, a podcast from Proper Spurs to all the proper Spurs around the world. And it is the day after the Monday night before where the door was ajar again. And last time we walked through it, so as of Sunday evening, West Ham were downed in controversial circumstances, to be fair, against Arsenal. So that was another one where we didn't really know what we wanted. So then the door was left open for us to go 4 points clear and basically, in my opinion, get our safety. But Tottenham did what Tottenham do, and we are now 2 points dropped, but 1 point gained. So we've got a draw against Leeds. But we're going to discuss it tonight. And I am joined, of course, by Matty Kerr and Kevin Dennis. How you doing, lads?
All good, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, fucking pulling my hair out watching that last night. Honestly, it was just like flashes in the pan of like brilliance, and then just fucking silly mistakes, and then it went a bit dead. I mean, the atmosphere in the stadium was another thing. But we'll talk all about it. Kev, what do you think? It's on mute.
Sorry, mate. I'm here. Yeah, been thinking about it all day, to be honest, mate.
Deep breaths, Kev. Deep breaths.
Yeah, been thinking about it all day, and like you said, it was a chance to really, in my opinion, secure safety. Thought the way Leeds started the game, I thought the atmosphere, coming into the game, I thought was okay. I think everyone was sort of up for it. For a Monday night, it was a bit better than it has been, but obviously there was a lot at stake. So, I mean, I suppose we'll run through the game as we chat. But in terms of the result, based on the result, yeah, extremely disappointed that it's now being taken into the last two games, where I think in an ideal world, we wouldn't want to go into Chelsea needing anything. It would be nice to have a nice relaxed derby, a dead rubber, and it is what it normally is over there. But no, we've got to change our mentality now and go into that game and fight. But yeah, a massive 2 points dropped last night in terms of, especially coming off the Villa game of how well we played. Obviously, him going with the same team. So I think everybody was sort of expecting, the missing pieces, players to join up, to play the patterns, to do the triangles, to do the jobs. We did do it in parts, but not as good as we did at Villa. So obviously that's what's cost us. But yeah, extremely disappointed that we're still going into the last two games not knowing if we're going to be in the Premier League or not, which is really difficult to take, especially when we've got a chance. We had a chance to do it. So yeah, in that terms of it, as a result, going into these next games, extremely disappointed that we're in this situation.
Let's rewind back to 6 p.m. yesterday evening. Matty, you went to the game. You were one of the very few that didn't sell their tickets ahead. So you were getting down there. Like, what was the build up like on the way down there? Like, 'cause obviously, we had the tifo all lined out. It felt like once again they're trying to do their best to drum up the atmosphere. Get that full relegation armor on and let everyone know. We're in a fucking battle here. We want you to bring the noise. How was it for you? Like, getting down there, walking the stadium. What was it like?
Do you know what? I got in there early, actually, TJ. I went to see the singer, and then I went to the South Stand, and the South Stand was rocking before kickoff. Getting into the seats.
Did you get your buy one, get one free drinks, Matt? Did you get your buy one, get one free drinks?
I did, Kev. Do you know what, mate? You'd have been proud.
You know.
You'd have been proud. Do you know what? South Stand was rocking, but do you know what it seems to be like? Again, first 8 minutes to the first half, the atmosphere is pumping, and then we seem to just fall off. Do you know what I mean? Like, the atmosphere just sinks. Second half lifts a little bit. Yeah, yesterday wasn't an atmosphere. It wasn't great, and I feel like it needed to be so much better. And I feel like sometimes, like, yeah, we're bad for it at the minute. Like, as soon as there's a couple of moan and groans and people a little setback, us fans kind of think like, here we go again. And I feel like you feel the pressure in the stadium, like, because we're nervous for them. And I feel like it goes onto the pitch. I don't think we was at our best yesterday at all. But I think sometimes when you're not at the best, I think you need the crowd to get you over the line. Like us at North Lower and Nottingham Forest game, everyone was standing, everyone was up for it, that Nottingham Forest game. Where yesterday, hardly anyone singing. Everyone sat down.
Matt, do you think that's got something to do with that Nottingham Forest being a weekend game and this being a Monday night? Do you think that had something to play in it or not?
John, okay, yeah, I get that. But then you kind of think under the lights, the atmosphere should always be a little bit better. Do you know what I mean? So no matter what day of the week it is, I always feel under the lights, everyone's been waiting all day for the build up to that game. You're at work and whatnot, or you're off work. So the atmosphere should always be better under the lights. And I don't know, I think we struggle so bad with an atmosphere. And I think if we do stay up, I think De Zerbi will get that place going. Do you know what I mean? He will. But I think we've got one more league game at home, and that Everton game, depending on the situation, has to be 95 plus minutes of just constant. And I don't think we can have these blips. I don't think we can have it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I feel like that's been the problem this year, is like the nearly games. Like we saw it in the Sunderland game, like De Zerbi's first one in charge. I don't think we played that well, but I feel like a draw was probably the right result in that one. And then obviously letting Brighton at home slip in the last minute. And then again, silly mistakes in this one. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's tough for the atmosphere because you're expecting... I've always said, right, like as Tottenham fans, we're there when it matters. But I feel like it's a vicious circle. Like the performance feeds off the crowd, but the crowd also feeds off the performance. It's like one drives the other. And I felt like at the start of that game, I felt like we were a bit flat, a bit passive at the beginning. I don't think we did anything wrong, so to speak. I felt like we just didn't really get a rhythm, if that makes sense. I didn't really feel like we found a proper rhythm. Like if you look at the stats, possession-wise, we had a lot of the ball. Like I felt like we handled them quite well in that sense. I just didn't think we did much with it, and I think again that shows like lack of teeth up top. But yeah, Kev, I mean, obviously you watched it on the box, same as I did. Like, what were your thoughts about the way we started the game? I mean, the first half in general.
I was there, mate. I was there last night.
Oh, you went?
Yeah, I went last night. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you threw in a towel like I did. I'm a plastic one at the moment.
I'm loyal, Tidge.
Here we go.
No, I went. So, I was impressed with some of it. I won't lie, and I think it's only because we've been so bad at home under previous managers, where like a neutral would watch us and go, "Yeah, Tottenham were crap," and I'd look at it and go, "Well, I've watched them all year at home, and if you're comparing what we are now, and especially that Leeds game, to what we have been, there's significant improvement." And that's probably saying how bad we was, because it looks quite average to every other supporter. But for me, I was impressed with the energy of pressing. I mean, we forced Leeds into making a lot of mistakes yesterday just by being hungry. And he's also brought in us being hungry to get the ball back instead of just being passive and standing around. So I was quite impressed with that. I thought Leeds were there for the taking yesterday in terms of making mistakes at the back, and their goalkeeper as well, and being way too casual. And we pressed really, really well. I think what you alluded to just a minute ago about the front three, I think that was a major factor yesterday of why we probably didn't score more goals in the game and win, because we were quite toothless up top and we really just don't have a proper centre forward. I mean, a few people were in, I don't know about you boys, but a few people in the pub when I got into the coach after were saying Moani had a good game. I thought Moani put himself about, but I also thought he lost the fucking ball a hell of a lot last night. He has trouble keeping the ball. He may make runs in behind, but when he gets the ball to his feet, he's really, really poor with the football. So I wasn't a big fan of him last night. I weren't a big fan of Richarlison last night in terms of what he could normally bring. And apart from Tell having his flash of the goal, I didn't think he was that great either. So I think the front three yesterday and not having the depth to change in it, to be able to change any of that front three was a massive problem last night, and probably why we didn't win the game. I know if you've got a centre forward on the bench or you've got another two good wide players to come on, I think you might have seen a different game. But I thought we really, really lacked it up top last night, and that was a major factor in why we didn't win the football match.
I've got a shout out to Pavan J 1921 in the comments. He's getting the ump. So this typical Chelsea fan getting the ump here because he ain't getting everything instantaneously. We will talk about Spurs versus Chelsea. I promise you, mate. We'll come to you. But yeah, listen. Let's talk about the front three. Mawani. What does this geezer offer? I've got no idea what Mawani offers us.
Do you know what?
Don't, like, I would rather play with 10.
The front three don't offer us anything really, and it'd been the same if Solanke was up there. It's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? We're missing like your Kudus, you're missing your Kulusevski, like Maddison's just come back. We're missing so many attacking threat players. The front three now, they wouldn't be starters if our team's fit. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't, and that's the truth. And even if Solanke was there, nothing changes because he's not showing me anything to feel like he's ready to step up.
But do you know what it is, Matt? I thought them three were good against Aston Villa. I mean, the whole team was great, but I thought the front three put in a better shift at Villa than they did last night. And I don't know about you boys, but I just worry if some players are really struggling with the mental side of being able to get over the line at home, score goals, and go on top of games and not look so fragile. I don't know if it's a mentality at home where it's the players are just used to failing at home and can't deal with the pressure of playing in front of 60,000 of our own supporters, because that performance last night wasn't the Aston Villa performance, but we should have been able to produce that because it was at home. So I'm wondering if there's a mentality issue with being able to get over the line at home and win football matches against clubs, really that have sort of checked out in being Leeds. And I'm wondering if there's an inner problem there in the core of being able to do that because we're at home and our record is horrendous at home. I don't know what you boys think about that.
It's definitely an issue. The last home game we won was at the beginning of December against Brentford. So that shows you how long ago the last home game was that we won. I know we had obviously that spell at the beginning of the year where we didn't win away either. But yeah, listen, there is definitely something that playing under that Spurs atmosphere has an impact as well, and that home atmosphere, shall I say. But on the flip side...
It's the thing, it's the thing that Matt's just alluded to there about the supporters. I think the moans and groans, them players, I don't know if they've got it in them to, if things are going wrong, at home, can we switch it in mid-game and turn it on their head? Even after the Tell goal, I still think it went quite flat again after that. And it's just like, that the crowd were up for it after the Tell goal. Why couldn't we then go on and then score another one and go on the attack that side and eradicate this hoodoo we've got at home? But we didn't. We made a mistake with Tell and the penalty. And then sort of once Leeds scored, they kind of got on top of us. And we probably had a big chance of losing that game the way Leeds sort of decided to come alive. And that's the thing. It's like, why can't we take the big moments in games and capitalise on them? But we seem just to make one mistake. And if it is the crowd, the players drop and the whole thing drops. And it's like, is that the real problem at home? Why we can't get over the line?
Well, let's talk about big moments, because I think you've alluded to a couple already, but we'll get onto them individually. But Matty, Richarlison, basically misses an open goal for 2-0, and for me that you've got to be burying them chances when you're in these fights and you're in front of goal and you've got the whole fucking goal to aim at. You've got to at least hit the target, even if you fucking hit the keeper. At least hit the target, but to put it over the bar from that close, this comes back to what we've been talking about already in the beginning of this podcast. Is that it just does? There's nothing that's being offered from the front three, in my opinion. I've loved Richarlison so far in this relegation mix because he does give you that that fucking shithousery and that player you want to get in amongst it. But Matty, that moment where he misses that goal, I feel for me that's the point where I started thinking, this might not be our day here.
Yeah, I've not even seen that back, TJ. I see it on the other end. So that was the South Stand, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
it comes across and basically it falls to his feet and he sort of puts it over the bar.
I've not even seen it back. So when I first looked at that, I thought the defender kicked it. I didn't realise, and then they give a goal kick. And I thought, Richarlison missed that. And I've still not actually watched that back because there's been so many other talking points. I've not gone back to that actually thinking I've completely forgot Richarlison missed that. So, yeah, mate, I've not seen it back to even talk about it really, but the way it looked from where I was, it was a stinking miss. But I've not gone back to look at it, But yeah, goals change games, and if we'd have gone 2-0 up there, things change.
Yeah. Also, boys, when you're down the bottom like we are, it is literally fine margins, and we've had to learn that now, being down there, that if you don't take chances in games and you don't get the points that you need to get to survive with 3 games left, it could be fucking crucial. And when you have little moments like that at 1-1, 1-0 or whatever to make it 2-0, they're the sort of chances you, at this moment, at this time of the season, that you look back on and think, if he didn't do that, if we did score that, the whole game changes. We do this podcast, a team that is definitely going to be in the Premier League next season. And it's we've had to learn that as supporters, that it really is fine margins. And if you're lacking quality up there, because he has no reason to have no confidence. He's just come off a flyer against Villa, Richarlison, and the front three. There's no reason why you should lack confidence, but it still happens, and it's literally them sort of slim moments can define where you're going to be next season when you're down there, and they're so important,
Well, let's talk about something positive, because, I mean, before this, I actually thought he was winding me up. I thought we should have took him off. But Tell, the ball lands to his feet, and, I mean, what a fucking whip. I mean, Matty, I don't know what it looked like from where you were sitting, but even on the box, like, just that little... I think the ball fell so kindly to him as well. He sort of just got it, and it sort of... I almost want to say he had his foot on top of it, which kept it close to him, because I feel like if it had rolled a bit further away from him, defenders might have got there before he even got the shot off. But it felt lovely to him, and obviously he just whips it in the top corner. But what was that like to be in a stadium for that goal?
No, it was a good goal. It was a good goal. From where I was sitting, it looked class. And then when I watched it back, if that was in Kinski in goal, would you be gutted if that went in? Do you feel like the goalkeeper could have done a bit better for that goal? Do you feel like the goalkeeper made that goal look
that's
better?
harsh. That's harsh.
I think you're hard. I think there's a lot of bodies in the way of that.
It's a great,
as well.
right.
Great goal. Unbelievable. Give him goal of the season now, man. I'm fucking taking it. I'm taking it. I was trying to just down a little bit, because I would be like, that's the sort of goal that we're going against Paul Robinson, where he dives outwards all the time, I feel like, I know there was bodies, but great goal. I'm not going to take it away.
There's an image from Tell's angle, and it's literally 3 Leeds players in front of him staring at him before he hits the ball. And Matty's
maybe I've been a bit harsh. I've been a bit harsh. Great goal, but I'm not going to take it away from him. I'll let Kev build up his praise, because we're about to shoot the guy back down. So let's just talk about praising Tell.
Let's talk the good things now before we absolutely slate the cunt. But no, I thought it was a great trap. I mean, the way he sort of controlled the ball and killed the ball dead to get the strike off, I thought it was a great goal. It was 100%. Opposite my end, so I saw, and I'm high up, so I saw it go in there beautifully. And I think he's a player that I've kind of been a fan of, and I think he's got so much more to give. And he probably doesn't score enough goals as well, in terms of how good he is. So I was I was overly pleased for the goal because of the goal, but he scored it, and he needs to score more goals. And hopefully, I thought after that goal, it might give him confidence to go and get another one. But obviously, fucking it all went tits up down the other end from fucking hero to zero. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Only things like that would happen to a Tottenham player, I think.
Well, let's talk about it, because I mean, we go from the superb to the stupidious, and that is exactly what that was. And obviously, the ball's come over in the box for those of you that ain't seen it, and it's bounced. And Tell's got his back to is facing our own goal. Decides to go for an overhead kick in his own box, and obviously the Leeds captain Ampadu knows exactly what to do there. He just gets his head in the way, and for me, it's a stone wall. We can be accused of being a little bit biased about some things, but listen, I thought it hit his shoulder at the time. I thought it was but it definitely clips him in the face. And then you're sitting there thinking, what are you doing? Just fucking head it out for a throw. Even try and bring it down. I know that's even like that. Even that in itself is mad, but it's less mad than fucking trying to overhead kick it out your box.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he made a comment. He made a comment a while ago, didn't he, about he doesn't like the physicality of the league. So I'm wondering if he's decided not to go with his head, thinking he might get hurt, but then also in a bit of a panic of trying to clear the ball. But just stick your fucking head on it. I mean, this is 2 games now where players have decided to not act the right way under a severe moment of pressure with Danso at Brighton and this one as well. It's just like, I know things happen in games and your instincts kick in, but you've really got to use your fucking brain there. And listen, anybody who argues that wasn't a penalty, anywhere else on the pitch, it's a free kick, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So just because it's in the box and it's our player, even if you think Ampadu's put his head in there on purpose, yes, he has, because he knows what's coming, like you said, Tej. It's a stupid, stupid moment of someone who was so high at some point in the game and has now dropped so low. And, you know, has put us under severe pressure now going to 2 games from a mistake like that. Because if it doesn't happen, who knows, we might go 2-0 up and the game's sort of dead at 2-0 without a doubt. But it just give them a bit of moment to get another goal, to get an equaliser. And then the onslaught come on after that where they got the bit between their teeth and they could have won it. But fine margins, again, fine moments can change games. And I think that changed the game for us in a negative way.
Yeah, so like you say, listen, after I just want to say, actually, just while we're on the point, De Zerbi come out after the game and spoke about the incident. And I actually like the way he handled it. He said, look, he's young, he made a mistake. He said, it's not even really a mistake, he just made a bad choice. He goes, but I'm going to put my arm around him later. I think he said, I'm going to hug him and kiss him later, translation or whatever. But like, I quite like the way he dealt with that, because it's easy for a young player to get his confidence knocked on the back of something like that. Like we saw it with Kinski, with Tudor in the Atletico Madrid first leg. So yeah, I really like the way he handled that. But then, yeah, like you say, Kev, the game goes on, and for me at that point, Leeds are in the ascendancy. We feel like we're giving up ground and territory on the pitch. I feel like most of the game is played in our half at this point. And then they're getting these little breakaways down the line and getting in around the back. And we get 13 minutes of fucking injury time. And I'll tell you what, mate. Like, where did
that come from, by the way? Everybody in that ground was like, what the fuck? I mean, I went for a piss when he made the collision with Tell. I went for a piss because I just thought, I don't know what was going to happen. I was dying for a piss, and I've come back and it's been the penalty. So I don't know how long, you boys can tell me more. I don't know how long that went on for, but where the fuck did the 30 minutes come from? Because when I saw the 30 minutes, I thought, all right, now we can go and win this. But when did that 30 minutes
was getting
come
about
from?
7 or 8. I thought it was getting.
Yeah, I thought there'd be about 8 because of the VAR moment with the penalty. But
and when we started
13,
the first half,
it's unheard of in a game, isn't it? 13.
When we started the first half, Kinski punted the ball up top, then in Rodon, I think he was, went down with a head injury for 2 minutes.
Yeah, but 13 minutes, man.
No, I thought it was about 8 minutes, 7, 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's unheard of. Anyway, but we took it, and I think we wanted it at that point, right? We're sitting there thinking we'll have that. And then, obviously, Leeds in the ascendancy. And I'm telling you now, real time, I thought Longstaff hits the bar. So Leeds get into a great position where he's through on goal and he hits it, rockets it. And in real time, I thought, is it the bar? I went, thank fuck for that. And then they go back to the replay and Kinski's got a hand to it. It was that quick. It was that quick and that fast. I didn't even see fucking Kinski save it. I mean, Matty, it's got to be like up there with save of the season, no?
Yeah, I was behind that goal, mate. I screamed, mate, because I thought that was in. I was like, no. And then I thought, how the fuck has he saved that? But, mate, unbelievable save. Unbelievable save. Don't get me wrong. I think he could have caught it. Yeah, I think he could have caught that. Yeah, I think
Well,
I know we like him, but not that fucking much.
No, unbelievable save. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, what a story as well. Let's talk about Kinski for a second because, after the Tudor incident in Atletico, boy, was career done, right? I mean, even the pundits were saying it at the time. They're like, this guy is never going to play for Spurs again. And listen, he's been very fortunate that Vicario's had an injury where he's got the opportunity to come back in the team. But in my opinion, he's fucking brilliant. He's actually probably pushing Vicario for first place now, in my opinion. Because he's quite good with his feet as well, Kinski. I quite like he's obviously he weren't in Atletico, but he seems to be quite assured on the ball. So what a turnaround and what a good story for him as a young player.
Some players just need a bit of luck, don't they? Like all footballers need a bit of luck for that breakthrough. Like look at Kane when he come through. Kane when he had that luck, do you know what I mean? It was just pot luck that he got that breakthrough. Do you know what I mean? I think Kinski's got this breakthrough, and I think Kinski should be our number 1 next season. But I don't think he's done nothing wrong to say that he shouldn't be our number 1 next season.
Yeah, I think. I mean, wherever they go out and buy another goalkeeper, I don't know, but the style Kinski's got suits everything about the way he wants to play. And I think we've always seen with Kinski, he's calm on the ball in certain situations. We've probably questioned his handling in terms of if you're going to compare to Vicario. But since he's come in under the Zerbi, I think he's pulled off some great saves. I mean, the one at Wolves as well. We can't forget the free kick at the last minute.
Yeah.
But I just think he's comfortable in there. And this is where Vicario really struggled. I know they was under a guidance of let's go play long, which Vicario probably loved doing because he can't play out of his feet. But now you're playing the way you're playing, you know, you need a goalkeeper with great feet. And he is that. And like Matt's saying there, you need a bit of luck, but you also need a bit of love. You need a manager to come in and go, look, you play the way I want to play. You got great feet. You're calm on the ball. You like to draw the defender on as close as you can before you play. I mean, he ticks all the boxes in that sense. And if his handling can be as good as it was with making them sort of saves he's been making recently, I don't see why he can't contest to be a number one if we go and buy another goalkeeper. But it'd be nice to have two really good goalkeepers who can play the same way and have the same strengths in the team next season, instead of having one that can do one thing and one that could do another thing, but they both, you know, are both so different. We need, if we're going to play one way, we need two goalkeepers that can play that way. So they'd be stupid to get rid of him if they wanted to, or he wanted to leave or whatever. But I think if you can get a goalkeeper just as good as him or better, I think having two goalkeepers like that would be great for us. I really do.
Boys, even the save in the first half was unbelievable. He made that look so easy. The header in the first half, how he saved it on the line with one hand and just picked it up. Vicario would have parried that. That header, he would have parried it. Like in the first half. There was an unbelievable save, but he made it look so easy and he was comfortable with it. So I've got no issues with Kinski.
No, I think the biggest thing you can give him is mentality. I think the manager may have had something to do with that. I think his teammates have looked after him, but to come back, like TJ saying, from that fucking shocker of a night in Madrid, I think you can really give him some kudos in terms of coming back and being mentally strong and now feeling like you're the number one goalkeeper, and he's took it with both hands, literally, like, you know. So yeah, big player for us if we can keep hold of him.
And let's get on to it then. James Maddison comes onto the pitch to a raucous crowd. I thought he was fucking brilliant when he come on. He was busy. He wanted the ball. He was looking forward. He's playing like 1-2s with players. And then it comes to it. He breaks through and he gets tackled. I'm going to ask you quite simply. Yes or no? For you, Matt, is it a pen? Just yes or no,
yeah, it is.
For now.
No, it is. It is. It's a pen.
Kev?
I mean, in the ground, blatant penalty, I see it. I be honest with you, boys, I haven't watched it back. Cody was showing me snippets on the train, but I was like, oh, pissed, so I don't remember. I haven't watched it back. But I've heard things of, yeah, he touched the ball. I've heard people say he didn't get the ball. So I haven't really watched it back. But in real time, I thought that was a penalty. Blatant penalty. So you boys you'll have to elaborate.
So I'll tell you my view now. So when I saw it at the time, I fucking jumped up and went, that's a fucking penalty, 100%. I said, if he don't give that, it's a fix. And then I watched the replay, and I think he does get a little touch on the ball. But, and this is where, the more I watch it, the more I think it's a penalty. Because he takes him out first. He hits his knee first and his foot. And if anything, he grazes the ball. Like he doesn't change the direction of the ball. He doesn't push it out of play. I think I've changed my mind. So I thought it was in live. I thought it was, obviously. I think as a Tottenham fan, you naturally would. Watch the replays at the time and thought, do you know what? He's got a touch. If that got given against me, I'll be fuming. But then since I've watched it, keep watching it. It's a penalty, you know. I think it actually is a penalty.
I mean, the honest is, if the ref gives that as a penalty there and then, it doesn't change. It stays as a pen. That's my issue. So
let's talk about this, yeah, because this is and I think Jamie O'Hara brought this up on TalkSport or Sky Sports, wherever.
He's scared to make a decision.
Yeah, like referees now are hiding behind VAR. They don't want to make the big call, So then they let things happen and then let it go to VAR. And the problem is, if it's not clear and obvious, VAR are not going to turn it over. And this is where VAR has now become a hindrance in the game, in my opinion, because it's not allowing referees to referee. It's given them a safety net of not refereeing, where we need the decision makers on the pitch. And I feel like we saw it West Ham v Arsenal at the weekend. You know, that's a very contentious one where I personally think goalkeepers are too fucking protected anyway. I really do. Like, I mean, I said about the West Ham Arsenal one, if he didn't grip his arm, let's say he had an open hand on his arm, that would never have been given as a penalty. But it's because he's actually got hold of his arm that I think they've give Arsenal they've ruled the goal out. So I think he's actually got hold of Raya's arm. This one, I think I agree with you. I think if he gives it, VAR ain't overturning it. They're really not.
My other issue is how long it takes to decide things as well, and that's where, I mean, I'm a fan of VAR because it does get things right, you know, that are wrong. It has its great sides of it. And, you know, you're never going to, like the old days, you ain't going to look back on games and go, well, if that went in, we would have won the league or we would have done this or won the cup. It lives with you and it hurts you. So they kind of get them things right. But in these situations, if nobody is sure of what's going on, and there's no, like you said, if it ain't clear and obvious, then having 5 or 6 minutes to debate about it is the problem for me. And I don't know if they have to change it, where they have to put a time limit on it or what they do. But the longer it takes, then the decision is going to be wrong, in my opinion. It needs to be there and then what it is.
That was done yesterday, Kevin, about 20 seconds. They checked that and done. And you sit there and think, how was that brushed past so easily? I think it was so late in the game and they thought, we can't fucking afford to give this. We can't afford to give this penalty.
There's been some banter since about they switched all the monitors off and just said go with whatever the referee said and all that. But listen, full time, 1-1. Do you know what? On the face of it, I think the result is probably right. I think we played well. I don't think we played great. But I think given like the moments that we've just been through, the key moments in the game, I think 1-1 was probably the right result for the night. Not the right result we needed, though.
Yeah, up until they scored, though, Tej, I thought we kind of dominated the game. Well, not in such like terms of like peppering the goal and all that, but I thought we were the better team overall in the game. But I found when they scored, I feel like they come out with a bit between the team, but we also, I thought, fizzled out, lacked like a bit of energy. It was like we burnt ourselves out in that first fucking 60 minutes of the game. And we just kind of just dropped off. And then only when Maddison come on was probably the loudest I heard the ground. Rightly so, because he's just come back from an injury and we're obviously chasing a goal. But yeah, everything just went really, really flat in terms of supporters on the pitch. And I think that was a major issue yesterday and probably why Leeds, like you said, got into the ascendancy a bit and tried to nick it, because I think we just stepped off a bit. And whatever reason that is, I don't know. But I mean, if we would have finished the game how we started it in the first half, we might have gone on and nicked it. But like I said, it's fine margins. It's fine margins in terms of decisions, referees, taking chances like Richarlison's. It's fine margins. And if you don't get them right, I mean, at this point in the season, it could prove to be fucking really costly, you know.
And on that note, and the title of the show is 1 point gained or 2 points dropped. What is it, Kev?
For me, 2 points dropped. I think just for the way, obviously, their goal winning, the stupidity of it, the chances we did create, the Richarlison miss, and just stepping off a bit and letting them have it. I do think it was 2 points dropped, considering what was at stake for the game. But I do think if we would have had depth on the bench in the top three, the front three, it could have been different. But we didn't. And we have what we have. But the way we started it, I think it was 2 points dropped massively in terms of the magnitude of what could happen now, repercussions going forward.
Matty, do you feel the same? I mean, on the weekend, we actually moved a point further away from the relegation zone with West Ham losing. So we actually gained a point on them. So, I don't know, do you feel the same? Do you feel like it's 2 points dropped?
Bit of both, TJ. I think 2 points dropped, but it could be a point gained if we end up standing up on goal difference. If we can get that extra point. If West Ham lose on the weekend, all we need is 1 point in 2 games, and in that 1 point that we got yesterday kept us up. So time will tell. It's disappointing that we didn't take the opportunity, but I'm thinking positive on it, and I'm looking at. I don't want to be negative in that draw. I'm just trying to be positive about it and think like maybe we've gone from yesterday 6 p.m. 1 point in front of West Ham to now 2 points. So we're a point ahead of West Ham, and all we need roughly, potentially, I'm going to say is 1 point to stay up, depending on the Newcastle game, you know. And I do think Newcastle will beat Sunderland. Newcastle won't want to lose 2 games to Sunderland and finish below Sunderland in their first season. And I do think Newcastle will beat West Ham on the weekend. And I then think we go to Stamford Bridge and get that point. But then it goes to the last day of the season where we're 3 points clear, but with a massive goal difference. But we'll stay up.
Oh, and that's the end of the show then, because Matty just spoke about everything we're going to talk about now. So we'll call it a day.
No, you got to
slow down, Matt. Slow down.
You got to have your say.
No, listen. Listen. One thing I will say as well, that's 4 games unbeaten in a row. That's another way to look at it if you're looking at it on the positive side. And yeah, I think if you can't win a game, make sure you don't lose it. That old saying, you know what,
boys? TJ, before you say this, I know we picked up 8 points. We wouldn't have got these 8 points under Tudor. We would have been dead. We would have been dead and buried. We'd have been relegated.
The entire footballing community, even people outside of Spurs fans, know that Tudor was a terrible fucking decision from the board. And listen, nothing personal to the geezer. Like he obviously had a hard time near the end of it with losing his dad and all that, but he was not the right fit. We fucking said it on here from the moment he got appointed. I went, "Who the fuck is he?" And why are we bringing him in? But anyway, that's in the past. We're 4 games undefeated. We've got a point against Leeds. It could prove pivotal in the running, which is what we're going to talk about now. And that Pavan J 1921, your time has come, mate. He's been in the comments, absolutely unhappy that we haven't mentioned him. He's a Chelsea fan, apparently. And he's saying Tottenham won't get relegated. The league wouldn't be fun without Spurs versus Chelsea. And then he got the right arm because we didn't read it out instantaneously. But listen, let's talk about it. So Newcastle versus West Ham on Sunday. Our game's obviously been moved because Chelsea are in the cup final, which again could be something to consider. What happens in that Newcastle v West Ham game this weekend?
I think, it being Newcastle's last home game, I don't know if I'm clinging on here a bit or what. I mean, it wasn't great against Forest, but that was away from home. I mean, it's their last home game of the season, so I'd expect them to really put a shift in. But the West Ham won't go without fighting. That's the thing. And Newcastle are going to have to be at their best to beat them. I mean, I don't know if I've just been biased with it or what, because I need Newcastle to win, but I do fancy Newcastle to beat West Ham. And I just think in terms of player ability, I think Newcastle will turn up. And if St James's Park wants to be the atmosphere it normally is, it really spurs Newcastle winning games that we've seen over the years. So if the fans are up for it and the players are up for it, I can't see West Ham getting anything out of that game. So touch wood, that happens.
But Matty, there's this narrative going around that, I mean, I do feel like the fucking Millwall of the Premier League at the moment. No one really wants us to win anything, do they? Let's be fair. And, I think you've got Newcastle fans coming out saying, let's just drop the game. Let's just don't turn up, basically. Let's get Tottenham relegated. Any truth in that? You think there's this thing where teams want us to go down?
I think if it was 4 games, like the 4th last game of the season or something like that, I think maybe Newcastle might think like that. But the thing is, what fans think, and we know this from the Man City Tottenham game the other year, what fans think and what the players think is totally different. The players are out there, they've got to be professional, they have to do their job. Yeah. They are fighting for their careers next season. They are fighting to get into World Cup squads and stuff like that. You can't be seen to down tools. And we see that when Tottenham played Man City that year, and we probably put in one of our best performances, I think we put in all season under Ange. But even though we lost 2-0, we were unlucky on the day. And I do think, I don't think Newcastle wants Sunderland to finish above them. Yeah. And Sunderland are away to Everton on Saturday. If that's a draw, St James's will be rocking because they don't want to finish below Sunderland. Like, it's their first Premier League in years. They can't beat them twice and finish above them. It's embarrassing. I know a couple of Newcastle fans. They're like, look, ideally, we'd love Tottenham to go down, but we have to concentrate on ourselves and we want to finish above Sunderland. If it goes to the last game of the season and it's not in our hands, I feel the worst because I think Leeds will lose to West Ham. I do think Leeds will lose to West Ham.
Yeah, this Newcastle game worries me because I feel like that dictates a lot of what happens in the subsequent games. I hate that we're playing after them, if I'm being honest. I'd like to have gone into going into that game knowing like where they stand.
Have you found it a disadvantage going after them for the last few weeks?
I think so. I think obviously the pressure's there regardless. But I think when a team plays first and they get the result, there is extra pressure when you play second. 100%. It's the same as penalty shootouts, right? You always want to go first. Get on the board, and then all the pressure's on them to match up. And that's exactly what it's like with a fixture list, in my opinion. And listen, we would have played before them, obviously, if Chelsea weren't in the FA Cup final. But it is what it is, you know. This happens, and lo and behold, it's Chelsea again. But yeah, I don't think West Ham will win at Newcastle. They might get a draw, but I don't think they'll win. Which means we still need to get something at Stamford Bridge, which we've only done once. And when I say something, I mean a win. But even a draw is hard to come by at the Bridge. But we've only got a win there once, which I was there for. I think it was 2017. I want to say. And yeah, it's a rarity. Like we say it all the time. The games we write off are like Chelsea away, Arsenal away, Liverpool away. We just don't get anything at these grounds. But listen, they are fucking shit. Chelsea are shit at the moment. I know they got a draw against Liverpool, but they're fucking shit as well. So we've got a load of shit teams playing each other because we're shit as well. So what happens at the Bridge? This is a big fuck. This is the biggest Chelsea Spurs game since the Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Tej, I've got Battle of the Bridge vibes going into this massively. If we had any other manager at the moment that we've had before, I think we get rolled over. I know there's a mentality thing there, and I'm one of the first to say, you know, Chelsea game is always a write-off, same as your Arsenal's, your Liverpool's. I mean, it's the facts are there. It always has been. But I've seen, and people might be shocked by this because I'm normally someone who always thinks bad when it comes to these things. But I think there's enough in this team and enough in this manager to send them out to go and fight. And if the result doesn't come our way, but we've battled there, like we did at the Bridge, and we stick it on them and make the game hard for them, I can half swallow that. But I think we'll turn up in that game. I think we're going to fight. I think we're going to battle. It could be another game where fine margins with decisions, red cards, it's got that sort of thing about it. I think the referee, whoever it's going to be, is going to fucking have a right field day in terms of being able to keep control of it. Chelsea are playing shit. They're going to want to win. They hate us. They're going to want to relegate us like every other club, but Chelsea will want to do it more than anybody. And I'm saying more than Arsenal's and everything else. Chelsea and Tottenham is a big, big rivalry. So when you've got this, on the plate of what's going into this game, Chelsea must be licking their lips thinking, fucking hell, if we can always beat them like we normally do, but we can send them down, it'll be fucking their biggest highlight of their season, without a doubt. But I think I've seen in recent games that we are up for a battle on the pitch. We've got the right players to go out there at the moment in Palhinha, Bentancur, Gallagher, to go out there and have a fight. And it may shock people, it may shock you boys because you know me so well, but I think we go to Stamford Bridge and we battle and we fight and we nick a point. I really, really do. And if West Ham drop points, that point will be more or less safety. But I just think we're going to go there and we ain't going to be the pussycats that we normally are. I think we're going to go there and De Zerbi's going to fire them up and we're going to fucking fight and we're going to nick a point. I really, really do. And it's unlike me to say that, but I just think there's so much at stake. It's going to be such a bitter rivalry game. I just think Spurs will have to fight to get something out of it. The football might go out the window, but it's just going to be a battle out there. If they can nick a point, then like I said, it's more or less we're safe. If West Ham lose to Newcastle, but like you said, them going first will set the precedent for that game and what it means. And like you said, it's just where the pressure comes in. But I would like to think whether we're playing first or second in this situation, De Zerbi is going to want them to absolutely go out there and fight. And they owe us it. They owe us it for the shit that we've had to endure all season and why we're in this position. But everybody owes us. And I think they're going to go out there and give the supporters a performance to be proud of, whatever the result that may be. But we're going to go out there and we're going to fight. And that's all you can ask for at this moment in time. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm saying it now because it's ages away and I'll be shitting myself on the day of the game. But I think if we can go out there and fight, we'll nick a point. I really do.
Oh, I might have to get you in the dressing room, Kev, to fucking line
Yeah,
them up.
fucking get me in there, mate. I'll have some of them cunts up on the wall, mate. Get me in there.
But Matty, like on this point about the rivalry, I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but I feel like in recent years, the players of Chelsea and the players of Tottenham haven't really, taken to the rivalry as in teams of yesteryear. Maybe it's because there's been less at stake in recent years. But, the era from like the Pochettino days and even like the Conte games, you felt like there was that real bite in the Chelsea-Tottenham games. I think less so this time round. And I don't know if that's and that comes back to the thing that Kev said earlier about obviously the fans want it in terms of relegating us. And I know Chelsea is still pushing for Europe, which would be a nice little thing that we could do to them, by the way, stop their European chances. But yeah, do you think that the players feel it how the fans are going to feel it at the Bridge next week?
I think they do, and they've shown it to you that we seem to lose our heads more than they lose their heads. So all I'm hoping under De Zerbi, no matter how fired up them players are, it's so important we keep our heads because we're the ones that always get the red card. We're the ones that lash out. Do you know what I mean? We turn stupid. We've been 2-0 up in the last couple of seasons and thrown it away and stuff like that. Or we got 2 men sent off, and we have to keep our heads no matter what. Like, yeah, I think the players. I think it's more our end than it is Chelsea's end with the rivalry, like with the players on the pitch. And I think that's shown in recent performances how we just lose our heads. And no matter what the outcome is this weekend with West Ham winning or drawing or losing, we go Stamford Bridge and we get that point. I 100% believe that we'll go there and get that point. We'll go there. And I think even if it means us stinking the place out, time wasting and stuff like that, we will go there and get the point. This is not the Chelsea of old, where you have to fear. Do you know what I mean? But I do think we can go there and 100% get a draw.
Well,
we have to keep our heads, T. We have to keep our heads. We can't let the whole occasion get to us. Them players have to be so disciplined in what they're doing. Because knowing us, we'll get a stupid red card out of nowhere and you think, it's happened again. And we just can't afford for that to happen. We need 11 players on that pitch and everyone fights for each other.
Yeah, that normally happens in big games for us. We play these sort of games and we dominate it and you think great. And then as soon as you get a fucking silly decision like a red card, it all goes to shit. And that's typical Tottenham over the years. So I believe, Matt, 100% there. If you can keep your heads, because Chelsea are going to come out and they're going to want to fucking hurt us. And they are going to, you've got shit cunts like Cucurella and Fernandez and all that, leaving bits on people. Bentancur short-tempered, Paulinho short-tempered. I mean, it's all there to be an absolute explosion of rivalry, of a battle of the bridge type. I mean, if it isn't that, I'll be very, very surprised. But yeah, Matt's right. We've got to keep our heads. If we do go 1-0 up front, we've got to be game smart. Like you said, the dark arts have to come into it. But yeah, I think it's there for us. I really do. And I'm never confident going over there. And I'll be honest with you, even if the relegation thing weren't a thing, from what I've seen of the players in the last 3 or 4 games in terms of fight, working off the ball, being physical, I think we'll give them a good game anyway. But yeah, there's just so much more now added to it. So, like you said, if we can keep 11 men on the pitch, I think we've got a massive chance of getting a point.
Yeah, I mean, looking at take the rivalry aside, they're the worst performing team in the league at the moment. They're 1 point from the last 6. So, I mean, they're there for the taking. But this is Chelsea versus Tottenham, and it is never scripted. It never goes to the way you expect it. So we hope we go there next week. We hope we put in a performance and we hope we get something. Listen, if West Ham lose to Newcastle and we get a point, our goal difference keeps us up regardless of the last game of the season. But yeah, it's a big one. It is probably the biggest Spurs-Chelsea game in a decade. And Premier League status is on the line. We have been the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans podcast. Keep following us on all the socials. We're on absolutely everything. If you like Pav and Jay and want to follow us live, you can get on the YouTube and on our Instagram. We stream live every after every game. Basically, we come on here and we do the podcast. It's great to get you guys involved, and we're still looking for people to come and join us on the end of season show, which will be some point after Everton. So if you're interested, please get in touch through your usual socials. Come speak to us. We're at the games. You know where we sit. We're always, the pubs we go and we're always in and amongst it. So if you want to come up to us, talk to us, even if you don't want to be on the show, we're happy to have a chat about football. But Battle of the Bridge, Part 2, next Tuesday, up the Spurs.
Do.